Welcome to the bold analysis. According to Kenya Kwanza power sharing agreement that was deposited at the Registrar of Political Parties, Wycliffe Musalia Mudavadi was supposed to be appointed as Chief Cabinet Secretary through Executive Order 001 14 days after William Ruto is sworn in as the president. On 27th September will be 14 days after Ruto's swearing in. 2 weeks later, the president is yet to name the cabinet. But the son of Mudamba's camp, Mudavadi, is not patient enough. This is because if the time lapses by the end of business tomorrow Tuesday, Mudavadi shall perceive to have been shortchanged. But what exactly changed? And why is the delay, or what is questioning that delay? According to the understanding at the source, the reports are that William Ruto was supposed to nominate Musalia Mudavadi. That had to happen before even the cabinet. So by the time he was named cabinet, he would already have formed a shell of his kitchen cabinet with Musalia Mudavadi. Ladies and gentlemen, I want us to look at the anxiety in the Western Wing, and to be specific, the Musalia Mudavadi's allies, in relation to that development. But before that, kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and like our video. Those who are watching us for the first time, kindly share your feedback with us and tell us what you think. This is a report that is not new, and I want you to listen to a compilation from the Star here.
There's growing anxiety in Musalia Mudavadi's camp over his appointment as the Prime Cabinet Secretary, with the 14-day deadline promised by President William Ruto lapsing on Tuesday. Mudavadi's influential role in government was part of the pre-election coalition deal signed by principals in the Kenya Kwanza Alliance, Ruto's broad-based winning team. According to the Kenya Kwanza coalition agreement that was deposited with the Registrar of Political Parties, Ruto was to create that position within 2 weeks upon his swearing in as president.
Musalia Mudavadi was to be above the cabinet secretaries. Let me remind you, after the Supreme Court upheld, and even I think it was even before the Supreme Court upheld William Ruto's win, Musalia Mudavadi first changed his profile, and if you look at that is Mudavadi's profile, to Chief Cabinet Secretary Designate. And that was in light of that power sharing agreement that he was supposed to be named. And I have been making keen observation on the latest developments. You will actually realize that today, when the president was flagging off the relief food to the drought-stricken areas, there were leaders, cabinet members of the cabinet, Ukur Yatani and Uhuru Kenyatta's shared cabinet that remained, and some members of the ASAL communities, and some who are maybe there for some reasons. But one man, Musalia Mudavadi, was missing. No, that's not more important. He's not been seen in different quarters. And there is something that is happening, that Musalia Mudavadi has been isolating himself. And I want to say that even during the Sunday service at State House, that demon casting, rather Thanksgiving event that was at State House, William Ruto had to acknowledge Mudavadi openly and with a lot of caution. The question is this: if the agreement read 14 days and this was supposed to be done fast, the cabinet honestly is delaying, to say the truth. 2 weeks after swearing in, not yet, something is not right. And it's delaying. However, I want to just look at this analysis. I want to focus on Musalia Mudavadi. This is one of the leaders that I can say, if he packages himself well and navigates between Gachagua and William Ruto, he will stand a high chance of taking over from William Ruto with the support of Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta and Kalonzo team. In fact, even if Mudavadi was to run out of, if Mudavadi is to be shortchanged and come out of government and team up with Kalonzo Musyoka, in 2027 they will sweep it very early in the morning. So I am saying, because the kind of perception that is now coming, and Cleophas Malala was interviewed recently, and he was saying that everything is fine. I want to repeat that the last person that William Ruto should change is Musalia Mudavadi. His stake is there. But then, this is what is happening. Why that agreement, that 14 days window that was in the agreement, has not been met. Number one, I think the son of Mudamba is demanding more than just the chief cabinet secretary post. He's demanding more in the sense that, as if you look at the precedence that was set when the framework, or the design, the engagement of Matiang'i holding the same position, he was just a minister in charge of the interior, but it was just more of a coordinative role within the cabinet. I see a possibility that William Ruto was envisioning such a position of just elevating him a little bit kidogo to juu ya cabinet, juu ya the other cabinet secretaries. But because even if there is an executive order, it might not, because this is a position that is not in government, and even that executive order is the one that is supposed to produce it. It might not be having the packages, the privileges of that office. The privileges of that office is not yet spelled out. In fact, for a cabinet secretary, what a cabinet secretary is entitled to is in the constitution. And there is a precedence. So Musalia Mudavadi may be demanding the presidence of Raila Odinga between 2007 to 2012. And so what he envisioned as the chief cabinet secretary, just that prime minister, is not what was in the mind of President Ruto. And he might be demanding, number one, even to be added, to be in charge of a cabinet, a powerful docket like treasury. He was so vocal during campaigns about economy. Maybe he is demanding something on treasury, or he's demanding a particular powerful cabinet slot so that he can be in charge. That will be number one, because I can say that if you compare Mudavadi and Wetangula, both they come from Western, and Wetangula has come out boasting that is the second in command, which is constitutionally, that is it. But that position seems to be more of a civil servant than a political office. So Mudavadi is there as it's a position where his office is political, because that is a dispensation, that is at the mercies of President William Ruto. But if you've been in this country, remember, at one point there was a problem of office space, where William Ruto was saying that Mudavadi should go and occupy, is it second floor of Harambee Annex, which is the office of the deputy president. Not sure that Gachagua welcomed that. I would not be shocked to maybe find out that Gachagua did not welcome that. But on that note, I need to mention that Jackie Madinbe has denied that she was appointed at Gachagwa's office. She has denied that report. So the office space might still be a challenge, but for me, it's opening up more thoughts. If they're going to share office space with Gachagua, is he going to get residence, official government residence? That's the question. Is he going to get official residence, or atalipiwa tu rent kwake, or what is it? The issue of sharing powers, it's still becoming, and one of the reasons why Ruto has not created that office is that office first do not have an existing office that they can use. The option one was to go with Gachagua. If it was to be established and work with Gachagua, I think that office would already been there. And maybe Ruto changed plan that was not the right that was not the right direction. And I've just been wondering that there seems to be, Ruto seems to rate the cabinet slot, that chief cabinet secretary with other ministers, because politics at play. But this is also here. You know, Kenya, not Kenya Kwanza, UDA party opposed the BBI that proposed the position of a chief minister, which is what Mudavadi is supposed to be offered. And at the campaign trail, there was a narrative that Kenya Kwanza is not about positions. It's about delivery of services to the people, or uplifting the life of hustlers. So presidential handlers and maybe advisors of President William Ruto is maybe, I'm just speculating, maybe is telling him that he still needs to work on other issues, so that in his first 10 executive orders, it should not be executive orders that are producing those positions. Because, and I will not be shocked, when Musalia Mudavadi is appointed by executive order that position, the opposition front will come out and say that William Ruto opposed the arrangement at the BBI, while then in his government he's implementing some of the proposals that were in the BBI. And the truth be said, the winner take all was a challenge, and the position of a prime minister was envisioned in that. In fact, in the BBI, it was more of an elaborate position. It was more inclusive, more open than what maybe Ruto and Gachagua and Ruto and Mudavadi are having. So that could be it. However, analysts are arguing that there is a thin line between Gachagua and Mudavadi. While Gachagua is deputy president, you cannot despise that constitutionally. But Ruto seems to be, and Mudavadi seems to wants to wield some power, so that he can be at the same level maybe with Gachagua or someone down. And I can speculate that perhaps the roles of the PM and Gashagua's roles, some of them are conflicting. Remember, Gachagua is in charge of IBEC, which is Intergovernmental Budgetary Committee. I think that county is it county block something. Then TVET is under the office of the deputy president. The other roles, and some roles are to be given by the president, which in the agreement they argued that they were supposed to be given. So what is not yet clear is on who is in charge of what between Gachagua and Mudavadi. It will be an interesting one. And perhaps, what do you think is causing the delay? The 14 days are lapsing before Mudavadi is rightfully given what he feels belongs to him. That's my bold.